Becoming a young mother only means I get to meet you early. It also means I get to love you longer. A lot of people think that when you have a baby that your life is over, but really it just begun. Other people think that your future is done and over with, but really you just create a new one, a new adventure. And this is one of my favorite quotes unfortunately, it's by an unknown author, but when it comes to motherhood, it couldn't be more true. So many people think that just because they're pregnant that, they're not ever going to be able to fulfill the things that they want to do. And really, that's not true. And for a very short period of time in my motherhood years, I did fall into that category and believe that I wasn't going to be able to, do a lot of things. But I had to hurry and dig myself out. See, I got pregnant when I was 19 years old. Only 1 month after being married, I found out that I was pregnant. So everything was just like a whirlwind of change. It was like everything was happening so fast. From the outside looking in, it looked like I never should have had a child. Me and my husband, we didn't have good paying jobs. We didn't have a stable household, meaning housing. His parents lived in Phoenix. My parents lived in Kentucky, so we would just go back and forth. There was just nothing consistent in our life. It was just changing day by day. So, obviously, from the outside looking in, that would be, these people do not need to be parents right now. But honestly, it's what shaped everything about me today. It definitely turned me into the person that I am. Getting pregnant, there's one thing that I knew that I wanted, whether it be a boy or a girl. Thankfully, I was blessed with 3 awesome girls. But at this time, I just knew that I didn't want any of my kids to be like me. And I know that's really bad to say, but at 19, I have a heart of gold. I had a lot of friends, and I always treated them super awesome, but I never treated myself good. Bill Phillips, this is another good quote. He always said that, if you treat your friends the way you treated yourself or talk to yourself, then you would never have any friends. You wouldn't have none. And that is more true than anything. I talked so negatively to myself. I came up with excuses in my head on why I couldn't do, things that I wanted to do. I talked negatively about the way I look, the way I dress. I mean, everything possible that I could think about, it was all negative about myself. I would always talk negative, I could never look in the mirror and just say, hey, your hair looks pretty today, or, oh, your eyes are pretty, whatever. I could never do that. And I knew having a child that I did not want that for them. Excuse me. But that's one thing that I was set on. It's like, I cannot have a child that feels this way. Growing up in a home, I did have divorced parents. I loved my parents to death. They did an awesome job of raising me, but I did quit a lot of things growing up, sport after sport. I don't think I had any projects that I actually finished. It was just one thing after another, and I think that's why I built up so much negativity toward myself. But anyway, pregnant, I found out I'm having a girl, and this girl needed to be strong, confident, and she just needed to be who she wanted to be and be happy with that. And so when I found out that I was pregnant, I started right then and there. I'm like, okay, I know that I'm not this person, but I'm going to pretend to be this person and just see what happens, because this is what I have to do for her. So, well, luckily, when I had my daughter, it was like, don't ever say the word can't. Never say bad things about yourself. Always come up with something positive to say about yourself. Look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself how pretty you are. Just the list of things that goes on, is once you do it for so long, you really start to believe what you're saying. And for the first couple of years, and by this time I already have 2 girls. I found out that I was pregnant when my first one was 3 months old. So now I have 2 awesome girls that need to grow up and be strong, independent women. And so I had to keep projecting myself and telling myself and doing these things. And, for the first couple of years, it was a complete fake. And, on the inside, I was still torturing myself. But on the outside, I had to show something completely different. So my kids wouldn't see, the real me. and do that to themselves. And that's just no life to live. So after a couple of years of continuously doing that, I started to believe what I was telling myself. So I started making goals for myself, and I could actually follow through with those goals. And, I would just keep feeding myself more and more positive energy. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I don't have to fake this anymore. I don't have to keep trying so hard. Every now and then I'd still have a bad day, and there was some still things that I still done that I shouldn't have done, as far, I would overeat or stuff like that. And at that time, I don't really think that affected them. They didn't really see that I was overeating. But most of the time, if I did overeat, it would be at nighttime. I'm one of those night snackers, and still to this day, I'm still working on me, but I'm nowhere near where I started. And thank God, that's a blessing. But now my girls are older. I now have 3 girls, and 9, 8, and 3, and just turned 4. And they see me going to school. I'm going to school full time. They see me work. They see me do household stuff. They see me work out. They have their own sports that they're doing, and they work very hard, and they work very hard in school. But I am still projecting that, that positive energy toward them to, have them still grow up and be positive, independent women. And it's helped me out, because when you keep telling yourself something, you start to believe it. And so that's who I am. And so year after year, day after day, after doing that, here I am 9 years later, and it's really made me into the person that I am. It made me into the person I am today. And I have parenthood to completely 100% thank for that. Because if I hadn't got pregnant, I would still probably today just be negatively hating myself, going on about it, so on and so forth. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of more information on me. My kids are my world, and I love them with everything in me. And for anybody that, that feels that your life is going to be over if you have a kid, just remember, just don't look at the situation. Just it's how you react to the situation. Just sit down and make you out a plan and make it positive, and just know that you can do it. And I really look forward to seeing some of your other guys' presentations, and we'll see you next time. Bye.